important to get down to the concrete so you can have some consistency when you're measuring up. Looks like I'm gonna have to take these seals off too. Well, as you can see, all the work to be performed is gonna be from this point down. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of work on my knees and laying down, and it's a tough job. Everything just utilizes your hand. So what I do is I mark the frame. Here's the damage of the rust, and I'm going a couple inches above that. You can easily see where the rust is, but sometimes underneath here it doesn't quite show itself. So when you go to weld, it just melts really quick. So you want it to come up some and get good steel. You don't want to go too high up, because then at that point you're just removing a lot of the integrity of the frame. So right now we're down. The rust is expanded and the opening is less wide than the door, and it causes it to bind. In fact, you have to kick it open. It's so forced in here that it's literally swelled shut. I'm going to leave this extremely strong frame in place. Just cut the bottoms out. I'm going to set my frame up here. That's my plunge line. That'll get me right where I need to be. So put that frame back in. And I'll show you how I make sure that that's straight. Got my laser set up. So I'll just make a bunch of dots. Those dots are right on the laser line. An effective way to cut the grout-filled steel frame is with a masonry blade attached to an angle grinder. You can plunge it directly into the frame, and you can control its depth of cut. And the width isn't a problem either. I've taken the guard off to show how effectively you can cut on a line. So try and have your power tools do the work for you. You can swing a sledge around and break this out. You have a chance of breaking the concrete. It could be more weathered than what it looks like on the outside, on the inside of the frame, from all the moisture damage. So if you break it free with some vibration with your roto hammer, and let's get that up. Just get that on hammer, not drill. Yeah, this one's actually working pretty good. So the frames have a return that's stuck in behind the concrete. So if you chip out enough concrete for this to lie flat, you can leave this portion in here as kind of a stem to support the weight if you feel it's necessary. You just saw the horizontal cut portion, and I'm going to do a vertical cut portion now, just in case the side axis is limited or the wall's really brittle. This limits damage in that way. I just don't do it all the time because it's, basically twice as much dust. But anyway, you can, as you can see, kind of just plunge into the floor. You don't have to go all the way down because it's probably rusted already anyway. But what you want to do is peel the frame back so you can get in there with your roto hammer or a grinder and have access to the returns, because you want your new frame piece just to slide in easily. That way, if there's any grinding of the bottom of the frame that you need to do, it just removes easily. So you just basically chisel away at both sides, just removing about 3/4, maybe an inch of the material. Anything smooth on the concrete you want to remove. That will be a hindrance to your new frame matching up or aligning properly. It'll just make it stick out a little bit. So chisel that smooth stuff off and just kind of round it off and have a nice access for your frame piece. Now we try and fit the frame in there. This side works, but this side does not. So I'm going to grind off the bottom. It is. That's the trick. What they are is magnet holders for tools. Make sure they're clean. They're strong. But after you do this, and you tack your frame in place, it doesn't go anywhere. And when it cools, it doesn't go anywhere. Well, it still does, but not near as bad. That's what the inside of the frame looks like. It's just literally eating away. They even use some duct tape for some reason to trap extra moisture, I guess. So we're gonna do something these folks didn't. And that is we're gonna seal our frame. I use an undercoating by 3M. I'm not sure if it's the best, but I think it's better than paint. It doesn't chip off. Put it on the bottom. Just make sure it's all in there. I got a little on the outside, I'll wipe that off, but I'll paint the inside like that. And I don't do the very top because, boy, this stuff stinks when it gets hot from welding. As you can see, the bar magnets are holding the frame piece in perfect alignment prior to my spot welding. After spot welding, I'll remove the magnets and continue with the spot welding around the frame. So a little note about welding here. I use spot welds. I do not weld on the inside corners as it's too difficult to remove with a grinder. And you do not want to use continuous welds because the heat will cause warping. A 60 and a 120 flap disc will make that smooth work for you. Some magnets and a small tarp will help trap the heat for quicker Bondo drying. I have found that stainless steel, countersunk coarse thread screws and plastic sleeves work very well. Unlike most other anchor types, these won't rust and can be easily removed in the future if needed. And the Bondo is dry. And here you have the completed frame splice repair. It's very durable and will last for many years. Here is a heavily rusted frame that has actually damaged the hinge. You can splice this new piece in easily by following these quick steps. You reference the top of the hinge to a 2-inch cut mark and the top of the hinge to a 4-inch reference line. That will be used in the future to align your new frame. Your cut mark will be a level cutting line where you'll make your plunge cut, and that 4-inch reference mark will be a way to confirm that your new hinge frame is aligned with the old one because your door's not moving. So it has to be aligned perfectly or it won't work properly. This frame has been bondoed and sanded to a smooth finish and is ready for primer paint. And here's the completed frame, prime paint, and ready to go.